Hello, Professor Warsi here. How do you know the meaning of a word that is new to you? Let's say you are reading an essay and you come across a word that is unfamiliar to you. What do you do? Do you ask somebody, what does this mean? Can you please help me? Or do you use a dictionary to look things up? Now, you may not have a dictionary with you when you're reading. What do we do? How do you find the meaning of the new word? Okay, welcome back. Today, we will learn one of the most important academic reading skills, and that is how to figure out the meaning of unfamiliar words using context clues. So I need you to stay with me until the end. You will do many quizzes, paragraph-based exercises. I'll give you a final challenge exercise, and then tips for academic success. So today's objectives are to learn what context clues are and why they're important in academic reading. We will also identify the 5 types of context clues. We will learn how to use context clues to understand academic word list. And in this lesson, we will cover the sublist, 2, and 3 vocabulary. Now, the academic word list consists of frequently occurring vocabulary in college students' writing. Okay? So college students who are taking credit-bearing courses are supposed to have these words in their active vocabulary. You will also learn some of the words from this list. We will also learn how to apply context clue skills to short academic paragraphs. And we will also test your mastery through a mixed exercise and a final challenge quiz. So what are context clues, you ask? They are hints in the text that helps readers understand unfamiliar words. Okay? They're hints that the writer gives the reader to understand new words. These clues may be in the same sentence, or the sentence before, or the sentence after. There are examples, explanations, or contrasts in the paragraph. Now, strong readers or fluent readers, advanced readers, they don't stop every time they come across a new word. They don't, try to find a dictionary, or they don't ask people around them, like, excuse me, I don't know this sentence. But because they are such good readers, they use logic. They think, and then they look at the context to infer the meaning, to guess the meaning, to derive the meaning of the new words in the sentence. All right, so today we're going to learn 5 types of context clues. They are definition clues, synonym clues, antonym clues, example clues, and inference clues. So let's begin with the first type of clues. They're called definition clues. Now, by definition, right, it means that the text directly defines the word. The new word defines the meaning of the word. Okay, let's look at some short paragraphs. The professor explained that a framework is a basic structure that supports an idea or system. She emphasized that every research project needs a clear framework to stay organized. Okay, so we're going to look at the examples, and then I'll give you some exercise. So take some time, read each of these sentences carefully, and see how the highlighted words are defined in the same sentence. Okay? During the lecture, the instructor introduced the term outcome, defined as the final result, the outcome of the final result of a process or event. Okay, let's do this exercise. Pause the video. I need you to pause the video now. Okay, and without using a dictionary, I need to read these 5 sentences and think of the definition. Okay, they are given in the sentence. All you have to do is read carefully and look for the definition of the highlighted word in each of the sentences. Okay, so great, let's begin. I will show you the answer after you complete the test. Okay, So shift means a change from one state to another. If you read the sentences carefully, you will see that the highlighted word is defined. The definition follows the word that is highlighted. All right. How did you do? Did you do well? All right. Continue to work hard and you will improve your vocabulary by understanding and using the definition clues. So the second type of clues are called synonym clues. Okay, it's a restatement. A synonym is a similar word or a phrase, right, that has the same meaning as the other word. So secure, for example, in the first sentence means to protect. So you can see compute or calculate, restrict or limit. So there are two words that have the same meaning. Considerable amount, that means a large amount of variation across groups. The study revealed a considerable amount of variation or a large amount of variation. Very good. Well, let's do an exercise because you just learned something new. Now you need to practice or apply what you have learned. All right? So there are 5 sentences. There are highlighted words. All I need you to do is find the synonym in each sentence. Pause the video and let's do the exercise. I will explain the answers to you after you're done. Okay, so evaluate means assess. This was an easy exercise, wasn't it? Because these are synonym clues. It means the other word following the unfamiliar word, highlighted in this case for your convenience, is a synonym, a similar word. Perceive, notice, assist. The synonym of assist is to help someone. Assistance, I need your assistance, I need your help, right? Illustrate or show, they are synonyms, right? Show is the same as illustrate. And lastly, maintain or keep a minimum GPA. For example, you're doing really well, right? And your GPA is high. You want to maintain that GPA, right? Okay, very good. So we've done 2 types of context clues so far. Now we're going to learn the third type, okay? The text shows the opposite meaning. We just learned the synonym clues. Now we will learn the antonym clues, words that are opposite in meaning. Okay? How do you notice that these are antonym clues? There are signal words like but, however, in contrast. So you're going to read some of these signal words in the sentences that follow. Okay? Number 1, is the instructor expected a distinct answer? Very precise, very narrow answer that the professor was looking for from the student. And the students gave the professor the correct word. That was the opposite. So distinct means very narrow, very specific. What is the opposite of distinct? It's a general answer that is sort of vague, too general, and hard for the reader to understand. The second example, decline. The economy did not improve. Instead, it continued to decline rather than grow. The presentation was informal, unlike the previous one, which was very strict and formal. So how do you know these are antonyms? Look at the signal word. It says unlike, correct? That means it's the opposite. It's a contrast. The last example, the professor encouraged a direct approach, but the team chose an indirect strategy. It's just the opposite of direct. Okay? Understood? So far, so good? All right. Now let's do the exercise. It's time for you to apply what you just learned. Pause the video now. I would like you to stop here, complete the exercise, and we will go over the answers together. Okay? How did you do? Did you do well? Now that you've been practicing, you learned 2 different types of context clues. This is the third one, so you should have gotten used to understanding and using the different types of clues. So one was complex, and what's the meaning of complex? The opposite meaning is not simple, right? When you read something and the paragraph is simple, you understand everything. But if there are very advanced, complex words, they're not easy to understand. And that is why we're learning context clues. That is the purpose of taking this lesson. The speaker gave a brief introduction, but the main lecture was very long. So brief means short, right? But here the antonym clues is very long. The project was dominated by one team member, while others had little control or influence. That happens in class all the time, right? The professor, I try to do a group work. I break them up into smaller groups, let's say 3 or 4 students, and there's one student who is very dominant, right? She or he talks all the time while others just listen passively. Number 4, the material seemed irrelevant. Irrelevant means not important, right? Relevant means important. Irrelevant means not important. What was the opposite? The antonym of this next section was very important. So irrelevant, not important. And important, obviously, is something that is significant. Okay, very good. Moving on. The 4th type our clues are called example clues. So in the sentence or in the passage that you're reading, you come across an unfamiliar word. You will see clear examples to clarify the unfamiliar word, or the word that is complex or difficult. Okay? The signal words to look for are such as, for example, including, like, in particular. Now, let's look at these examples. They're taken from a paragraph. The speaker describes several physical activities. Now, what are physical activities? Running, swimming, and hiking. So running, swimming, and hiking are examples of physical activities. Now, right now, you're doing mental activities, right? You're thinking, you're reading, you're thinking, you're trying to guess the meaning of new words. Okay? So physical activities, some examples are running, swimming, and hiking. You could say just walking or lifting weights. They're all physical activities. Students practiced different methods. What were the different methods? Group discussion, which is what you do. Online research, you do that for the essays that you're writing, or data analysis, which may include internet research, or libraries, databases. The museum displayed features of ancient cultures, such as pottery, tools, and clothing. Those are features of a very ancient culture, very old culture. So those are examples of features, right? The course teaches the students how to write different comments. So remember, you write the discussion board posts, or even in your essays. When you respond to somebody, you give comments called like feedback or responses, or you read something and you write a short reflection, your thoughts. All right, now let's do this exercise. Look for the example clues in the sentences. Okay, pause the video, complete the exercise, and I'll show you the answers. Okay, so number 1, factors. The meaning of factors is things influencing a result. Participants are people involved, and in your case, if you are taking English with an instructor in a classroom or even online, you may be participating in an activity. So those are people involved, people like you, students. Outcomes. What are outcomes? They are results. For example, you take a test and then you wait for the results and the teacher said, you did really well. Okay, number 4, sections. Sections are parts of a book. a book has different sections, or even an academic essay, the typical 5-paragraph essay, it has different sections. Process, cell growth, chemical reactions, and energy transfer. These are all example clues. All right, you're doing really, really well. Okay, stay with me until the end, and you'll be happy that you completed the lesson. The last type of context clues are inference clues, right? Now, inference means to draw conclusions. So the reader, when you use these clues, must infer meaning from context and applies logic, all right? Let's look at some example sentences. The students began to interact more after the professor introduced group activities. Soon they were asking questions, sharing opinions, and helping each other, right? So the meaning of interact is to collaborate, to work together with other people. The team needed to locate reliable data. What's the meaning of locate in this sentence? Locate means to find. So there was a team of people, and they were trying to find data, information. The scientists wanted to demonstrate her theory. So what is the meaning of demonstrate? In this context, it means to prove to the people that her theory was valid. The manager tried to ensure safety. How? By installing cameras, checking equipment, and training workers. So you could draw a conclusion because the manager was trying to ensure, right? To protect the employees, for example, in the store, or even the customers. So she installed cameras. Okay, so ensure means to assure. Okay, so let's do the exercise. After this, I have some challenge exercises for you. All right, pause the video now. Pause the video here and complete the exercise. All right, how did you do? I'm sure you did really well. I'm sure that you are improving your understanding of context clues. Okay, now let's look at the answers. All right, so acquire means obtain, right? How do you know that the researchers wanted to acquire more information? So how did they obtain the information that they were looking for? They did interviews, they did research reports, and they looked at some previous studies. Okay, number 2, impact. What does it mean? A positive impact on students. The professor asked the class to respond to the article by writing a short reflection. Now remember, we do this in class sometimes, and I'm sure your professor has asked you to write a short paragraph in response to something you have read. All right? Number 4, compensate. It means to make up for. And number 5 is organization of parts, the structure of the building, for example. Okay? All right, so today we learn 5 types of context clues. Okay, now I have given you a mixed exercise. These sentences have all 5 types of context clues. Your job is to find the type of context clues, identify, and also write the meaning of the bold word. Okay, like ambiguous. What type of context clue is it? Is it an example clue? Is it a synonym clue? Is it an antonym clue? Definition clue? Or inference clue? Okay, so pause the video, do this exercise. This is your time to apply everything that you have learned, right? And identify the 5 types of context clues that we learned together. Pause the video and I'll show you the answers. Okay, the first one is an inference clue, right? Ambiguous. What is ambiguous? Ambiguous is something that is confusing, that can be understood in 2 different ways. Because the word has 2 meanings, the directions, let's say a teacher or professor gave you directions, writing directions, but the directions were so confusing, they were so ambiguous, the students were confused. They did not know what to do. They're like, I don't understand this, right? What do you want me to do, professor? I'm confused. So because the instructions could be interpreted in two different ways. Okay, so I need you to go through the rest of them. The second is a synonym clue. Similar word. Luminous and shining. Okay, now you need to learn by yourself also, remember? So can you do the rest of the sentences? 3, 4, and 5. Example clue. Right, did you guess it correctly? Number 4 is an antonym clue, right? The opposite of synonym clue. And the last one, did you guess the last one? Foliage. What is that? It's a definition clue. It says the leaves covering the branches of the trees, and they're called the foliage. All right? Very good. Now, here is your last chance to apply what you just learned. And since you have done so many exercises, I think you will do really well on this quiz. Pause the video. Now try these without hints. There are no hints. I will not explain anything to you because you need to learn by yourself, right? So apply everything you have learned so far in this lesson. Pause the video and complete the exercise. There are 5 sentences for you to learn. Okay, so pause the video, and after you've completed the exercise, I'll show you the answers. Okay? Okay, considerable means significant. Alternative means substitute. Evaluate means to measure. Ensure means to determine. Circumstances mean conditions. Okay? Very good. Did you get all of them right? All of the answers right? And if you didn't get all of the answers right, it's not the end of the world. Remember, you're students, you're learning, right? And we humans, we learn by making errors. So it's not a problem. But I'm sure, since you have done so many exercises so far, that you did really well. Okay? All right. So let's wrap up the lesson, right? Let's go over some key takeaways. What did we learn today? We learned that context clues help us understand new academic vocabulary quickly. All we have to do is read the sentences carefully and look for the context clues. And there are 5 types of context clues we learned: definition, synonym, antonym, example, and inference. We also learned some AWL words. They're called academic word list, and they appear frequently in college reading. And if you're in college or even in high school, you read a lot, right? Your professor gives you articles and essays, stories to read. We also learn how to use examples, contrasts, and explanation to infer meaning. And we practiced in speed and accuracy. I mean, I did give you some time to absorb everything new that you were learning, and then you applied your knowledge. Okay? So before we leave, I want to give you some tips for becoming a good, fluent, strong reader. So don't stop at every unfamiliar word. If you're reading something that you haven't read before, it's highly likely that you will come across many new words, but always look for clues first. Read the sentence before the sentence in which you see the new word and the sentence following it. So if you look at the entire context, you will be able to determine meaning. Things that you need to look for when you're trying to guess the definition of a new word are punctuation, commas, dashes, and parentheses. They often introduce definitions. I just said read the sentence before and after the unknown word, right? And practice with academic texts. And basically, if you want to improve your vocabulary, which I know that you do, otherwise you would not be taking this lesson, right? You need to read articles, textbooks, research summaries, and read a newspaper, a local newspaper in English. Read it every day. The more you read, the more your vocabulary will improve. Okay? Engage in the comments to reinforce learning, I need you to write your comments. Any questions you have, perhaps you can answer 2 questions that I'm asking you. What did you learn today? What's the most important thing you learned today? And what is something that you still find difficult or unsure of? Okay, great. So thank you for staying with me until the end. I appreciate your hard work. I want you to keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.